Tech Talk Africa, welcome to our second episode, everyone. And today's episode, we'll be talking about artificial intelligence and its impact on cybersecurity, jobs, and business decision making in our businesses. So, JB, my host JB, again, I'm Tumene Martin, my host JB as well. Welcome to Tech Talk Africa, episode 2, AI. So, JB, tell me, what do you think about these three things? So, number one, we could just start with the question about AI and how it's impacting jobs, especially maybe in our fields, software engineering jobs. What do you think?
Thank you, Martin. I'm Moke John Baptist, the founder of Desis Hub, and welcome to the podcast. And those ones who like, please make sure you first like and subscribe so that we continue creating this kind of content. My take on AI, I'm so happy. There is a lot of mixed reaction in the public. I think a lot of people are excited. Others are really worried about what is happening. I think it's a mixed reaction depending on the angle you see this. Me personally, as a tech guy, I'm really excited and I'm so happy. There is no any. There are some other threats I think about the AI, but I think positively AI is doing a great job. And for developers, I think I made a video about this. That AI will not take the jobs for developers, but the developers who use AI might take the jobs for those ones who are not using AI.
Wait, come again. You're saying you're
Very
you're
interesting.
saying that software engineers who are using AI, right,
Yes.
will take the jobs of those who are not using AI. Give me an example.
So an example is this. For instance, if you are a traditional developer, maybe you're a full stack developer.
Yeah.
Typically, what you normally do is you build a backend or you use APIs. Right now, the development landscape is changing, and the fact that businesses and even we are coming with new problems in AI, you need to first of all be knowing how to prompt. For instance, prompt engineering has become a new skill. You need to know, for instance, prompt engineering. So an engineer who has not learned, for instance, prompt engineering, that is the basic you need to start with to get into AI code development. Then you need to know how to use different LLMs to connect them with, backends, because UIs are changing. People are changing how they consume applications. Those days we used to consume applications like you have a UI which is talking to the backend. Right now, we are having chat-based UIs. Instead of just like Googling a lot of things, you just simply ask about what you want immediately and you get it. So everything is now chat-based. Therefore, some applications will disappear and new jobs of AI integration, building on top of LMs are going to be the more jobs that are going to be available. Therefore, those engineers who are using AI, who have learned how to integrate AI and they're having a lot of skills in AI, they are going to have a lot of advantage over traditional developers.
Well,
And eventually they will take the jobs of those ones.
well, if I can also add to that as well. So I think I see your point as well.
Yeah.
Now, for me, I'll look at it from a different angle. I see before AI came into play, I would actually
Yeah.
use a lot of Stack Overflow, especially to maybe if I was stuck on maybe some sort of algorithm I needed to sort out, or maybe a method or way to make solve a certain problem. I'll just go to Stack Overflow and then I'll just see what's really going on in that direction. But
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I actually
Yes,
looked at Stack Overflow.
exactly.
And you can imagine just how much of an impact that has been, especially because Stack Overflow had a lot of, people posting jobs, asking questions, looking for answers on Stack Overflow. And I'm
Yeah.
sure the moment people said knowing how to use artificial intelligence to help them understand some of these problems and solve some of these problems, that I'm sure the traffic just plummeted, just dropped all the way down.
Yeah.
And last time I checked, they were actually trying to integrate AI into what they were doing. But to be quite honest, I don't know. I don't I might just have just go back and just visit the website, but at the moment, I don't think they regain the traffic that they used to have or the momentum that they once had.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so also for traditional software engineers, I don't know. So the traditional software engineer in this case, is someone who didn't know how to use AI, right?
Like these ones who are hesitant. That I know that those ones who are anti-AI, like they are on the
What?
fight. They are on the fight that they're trying to prove
Wait,
a
wait,
point that
wait.
if you
So,
don't code, for instance, if I wanted to
uh-huh.
create a form and maybe hook it to the backend, and I just go and ask ChatGPT to do it,
Yes.
there are those who are anti that. Like, why are you doing that? Why don't you just do it? They still want to feel that, they feel of like I'm a typical, 99 developer who is still using all the tools I need to use.
So okay. So on that one now that I've just said,
Mm.
so have you met these traditional developers?
Yeah, like the fact that I'm a content creator, I meet a lot of people in different aspects,
Yeah.
and I've also been positioned to advise where you can.
Yeah.
In terms of like, should you someone adopt like code with the because some people are like because like in my video starting with this year, I code using these tools, like I code using ChatGPT. I don't use the cloud and V0 for coding. And some people are like, and it like, why can't you just like code from the head? So I'm like, okay,
Okay.
if AI is already doing that, why would I do that? I just like start on it. I build a more complex application rather than starting like I need to build a button, then I add an event on it. Why don't I just like do that? Then I just like it has done for me 2 steps. I add on like more further, maybe 10 steps on top of it. So there's some people who are like still like tradition. He still believes he should spend like more time doing something basic. They still hesitant to, but when calculators came, I don't think like of course those people who are still hesitant. They wanted to calculate using their heads.
Or using,
But
or maybe
sooner
using
or later,
abacuses, right?
everyone started using a calculator. Like if I ask you a question, like, okay, let me first calculate. You calculate on the phone. You are not worried that maybe the calculator is going to is going to possess you. AI is just a tool like a calculator. Yes.
That's a very good analogy.
Yeah.
So you've said some very important points. You've said that
Mm.
you use AI, in your coding sessions or when you're
Yeah.
coding. I also use it as well, especially to
Mm.
solve like more challenging tasks in a sense. Or maybe if I
Yeah.
have like a repetitive task and I maybe need to optimize something, I might just maybe ask it to just me just optimize, right? Now,
Mm.
I've heard of stories. I've also
Yeah.
read articles where software engineers, especially junior software engineers, AI
Mm.
has replaced junior software engineers. So
Yeah.
that means that the heavy task of coding, right, which is the more heavy task, has now been is sort of being sorted out by AI. And now we have software engineers who are either mid-level to senior who are now in those roles, who now plan and actually know how to, let's say, structure the code, who know how, let's say, the feature should be built in a certain specific manner. So in that case, I see that junior dev jobs have been sort of erased. Well, what's your thought on that?
I think is just like not even erased. I think the what is happening is that when you bring a new calculator that is solving maybe a more specific or a more complicated problem, the problem is that you need just to learn how to use that calculator. So the coding is going to remain. The people are saying that coding is going to reach some point and it dies. The problem is that if you use the chat GPT to code and you don't know how to code, you definitely going to get into problems because these LLMs, they are not yet there to be like really good. I've used them like I understand them really quite very well on their capacity they can do right now. So I think what has been increased right now is the bar that someone used to run HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then you get into a job But right now, you might need to learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then learn some AI, then get to be prepared to do some job. They just increase something more to learn on the bar. And then for the junior devs that they are disappearing, they simply increase that, because the jobs now, when you're just going to get into a company, they expect you to come knowing some coding and come knowing some AI. So basically, is to get also some creative way of getting other jobs that are going to be created with AI. Is going to create a new way of doing things, like a new job that developers can focus on. Like for instance, right now we have prompt engineering. People are selling prompts, like they are making a lot of money selling prompts to business people who are not engineers. So if you understand how the LLM thinks and I know how it works, I can sell you a prompt that can effectively maybe do some task. Then developers are integrating chatbots to businesses. Like there are new jobs which are like coming up. Like it is only those devs who are still like in those thinking of like they're going to give me a job at the company. And by the way, before even the AI, the jobs were really decreasing, if you noticed.
Before the AI?
Yes, because people sort of like they are getting into using SaaS-based applications like custom tools. Like people are building custom tools like big companies. Small companies are getting into using SaaS tools. That's why you say like the SaaS business has been hitting over the past couple of years. Like people have been into SaaS, because like businesses think of like, am I going to build an accounting software, or should I just simply go to a SaaS application which is providing accounting as a service? And most of them are adopting that. So developers need to be really creative in the space now that we have a GPT plus with all these tools.
Okay, we don't have a lot of time here. So I get your point, JB. You're saying that developers software engineers especially need to upgrade their skill sets. They need to learn how to use AI. AI is not going anywhere, so we need to embrace it and learn how to utilize, that specific tool. See what problems or challenges it can solve for business owners. Now, the business owner's perspective, how do you? So our question is, so one of the questions from the viewers is, how does AI impact business decision making processes right now? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm sorry, like, when it comes to business, because I have also a business, I think like I'm a little bit like skeptical. Like I haven't seen most people like here in Africa.
Yeah.
Even when the AI is trending at its highest in Europe and even all other countries with these new models coming in, all these businesses are just still using like ChatGPT based, like workers are using ChatGPT to do some tasks, like day-to-day tasks at work. For instance, if your boss wants to write some email to answer something, so employees are using that. Some companies have gone to step ahead to build some AI-based chatbots. I haven't seen so many in Africa because like I will just like go on different websites, see if they have AI-powered chatbots. At least I'll put it on my website to, an AI-powered chatbot that answers questions about my company. But I haven't seen it so much. But I think the business people are also in the transition of understanding how should they bring AI into businesses. However, in Europe, like it has massively been used. Like right now, companies are on 10x. Like they just like taking off some workers. You find a whole company of like 20 people. They have reduced 6, and they train them how to use AI very well, and then they are doing the same output like those people.
So ideally, so what's happening right now is that what you're saying is that we have people using AI in businesses, right? So for example, like writing emails. And we also have, so here in Uganda, I met someone, and they have an AI company, Nexa AI, right? So that's their name. And Nexa AI right now has an AI agent that you can integrate into like your websites and
Mm.
also into other specific your WhatsApp as well. So there's the
Yeah.
website, there's the WhatsApp. And the idea is that it sort of automates, like it sort of acts as a customer
Customer
assistant.
service.
Yeah, customer service
Mm.
assistant. It can also act also
Mm.
as a sales personnel as well to initiate, let's say, like conversational prompts, or conversations on WhatsApp as well. And I've
Yeah.
seen them do that in a sense. So I've also seen another company also do the same here in Uganda. So I also see that AI is just on the rise here as well.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that some also the more mundane tasks are also slightly being taken away. So number one, those people who were meant to just write emails and things like that, that's sort of gone in a way, or probably enhanced. You right?
Yeah.
So
Mm.
we also have this thing of the AI agents. So AI agents that are built or prompted, or actually that are built to do something more specific. So, for example, something that's a much more mundane task. For example, maybe read through your emails and then sift through the different kinds of emails that are important and this one which are also non-important, and then only recommend some to you. Another thing that also they're doing is summarizing, just
Yeah.
summarizing businesses. A while ago, I was working on a product, and then this product, this was specifically geared towards low tech lawyers. So the idea is that probably they might be looking, let's say, like have different file cases. So on their computer, so the idea is that to have this AI agent that summarizes all the notes for them, right? And then just prints out like a report on a specific case, let's say, for example. So there's also that as well. So you see how AI is literally making things easier for businesses,
Yeah.
how it's making more mundane tasks. It's gearing, so it's handling the more mundane tasks so that people can be more productive during the day. I'm probably envisioning a time in the future where people will be able to just work, let's say, like 5 hours a day, or even less, or even 3 hours a day, or even in a week. I mean, I've just finished reading the book, The 4 Hour Work Week, one of the best books I've ever read in a while, and a very life changing book. And I see the possibility in that happening, like in the near future, especially with AI. But there's also the question that comes in: how does it also affect businesses? Where there's also a bit of movement, right? Human movement, maybe your packaging material. And I've seen that some people are actually using not yet as per se, maybe in other places like Europe or in America, but they're actually integrating AI into robots so that the robots can actually do the more mundane task lifting, tasks in a sense for
Yeah.
that specific
Yeah. Yeah.
business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe moving packages from one place to another. So it's
Mm.
definitely replacing the more mundane tasks. And not to scare people, but I believe that each and every one of us is born a certain way. We are born with a certain innate creative nature, born like within us, right? So the more mundane tasks, those things that just repetitive and things like that, if you've been fired or if you've been laid off because of that, I think don't circle look at it as a bad thing. Look at it as a good thing, because now you're able to now tap into the potential that you have as an individual and go out there into the world and give into the world. That's how I choose to look at it in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, every time I bring up, after making the video about how AI is going to take maybe like jobs, on that discussion, everyone was really worried about, they don't want to know that all think that AI is going to take their jobs. Like, there's something like every human being is like, is AI going to replace humans and take everything from us? But as you said, is that I think it's like when you have like a cleaner, if someone is cleaning in the building, okay, you may think you are giving a life, of course, to that person. But if you brought a robot that is going to be cleaning,
Yeah.
so there are two things. It either the person who has been replaced by the robot is going to see it as something bad,
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
or they could say we can do now a more important task than sweeping.
Yeah.
You could
Exactly.
just look at like I can't do something more creative right now than just like sweeping, because you imagine a situation whereby you don't have to think about cleaning your house,
Yeah.
and you now focus on more, more important tasks that maybe requires human intervention, and they require more thinking. I think AI is going to replace those people who don't want to be creative. Like, some people are going to definitely get hurt by
Exactly.
this,
Exactly. Yeah.
but what we should just like also tell them at this point is that you should prepare yourself to change, like with the change.
Exactly.
When the computer internet revolution came in, people lost jobs. Those ones who are using the post office, you see how post office struggled to catch up
Yeah.
because that was their main task.
Yeah.
But when emails came in, they were worried. When Google took away Yahoo, like, change has to be there, and if you don't change, definitely you're going to be eliminated from the system.
And we need to evolve. Now,
Yeah.
this leads us to the third question, actually, our last question of this podcast. And so,
Yeah.
what one of the viewers asked, AI and cybersecurity. And I think this is something that is going to be a battle in the next few months to come, or
Yeah.
years, because
Yeah.
now we have something like deep fakes, where
Very
for those of you
complicated nowadays.
for those of you who don't know how deepfakes work, they scan your body, like your
Yes.
face,
Yeah.
your face, and then so it gets your facial expressions and everything, and then you can also
They
record
clone
your
you.
voice as well, and then, like you said, it clones you, and then there are
Yeah.
incidences where people have seen themselves on, maybe on television or somewhere, but not having said certain things.
Yeah.
So imagine someone clones, let's say, a specific important person, like a president or someone,
Yes.
and they say, I'm going to, let's say, like, maybe attack maybe this specific nation, right? And in actual sense, no one actually said that. So I see now cybersecurity is now being enhanced. So that's now
Yeah.
another issue now to tackle, right? So there's deep fakes. We also have AI programs that act like malware, and then they change because the code is sort of, in a way, transformative. It changes its behavior to stop behaving like malware, right? So it's almost like an HIV
adaptive.
virus, almost like a virus that changes, and modifies itself so that
They are called polymorphic.
polymorphic, exactly.
Yes.
So that the white blood cells can easily detect that this is actually a virus, in a sense. So we have AI like that. We also have AI that also can crawl websites, and also get to scan different applications, software applications or web applications, and look for vulnerabilities. So that task is also being automated, right? So you're literally seeing how AI is also impacting people, or can be used for good and also for bad. Now imagine you have bad agents. So those of you who are using AI in your businesses, right? The idea here is that how do you protect? So for example, we have AI around the world. We have DeepSeek from China. We have ChatGPT from the US. Now recently we have a new AI from France. I hear the EU is now getting in on it, right? I'm also wondering, what about Africa? Could we also have our own as well? And these AIs, these different models I would say they're biased towards their specific nations. Yeah, you want to say something?
Yeah, like right now we are in a very hot seat with cybersecurity, with the abilities that right now AI has, the amount of data that they possess from different people, because we have right now genuinely submitted the data. Where so much at first, like, not using AI so you could keep some of your data. Right now, since you want to personalize AI to yourself, you submit all your data now willingly to it. And different AIs from different companies. So when you submit it, that's why, OpenAI is in the battle with DeepSeek, is the sort of political in such a way that when Americans, or when you use this AI, where does the data go? What happens to the data? And now that they have all the data, they have ability to create sophisticated cybersecurity attacks.
Exactly.
You have seen a first case that was confirmed in UK, where an employee was talking with his boss,
Yeah.
and he was prompted to transfer about 240,000 was transferred. That was the first confirmed case of using AI.
Exactly.
They cloned the voice,
Yeah.
and the money was transferred.
Uh-huh.
We have seen LinkedIn bots they create accounts. They started conversing with employees from different companies,
Yeah.
and then they send malware links to these targeted companies.
Yeah.
And they are just like AI. They are very really now. They are conversational. They understand everything. We have seen cases here in Uganda. I think you have seen a song that was produced from the late. I think it was one of the musicians in Uganda, the artist in Uganda, Azawi's song. Right? Yes, Azawi, and they reproduced it using a musician who passed away, and it created some mixed reaction of what is going to happen with copyright, and people how do you monetize that song? Whose song is that even? So it is creating complicated cybersecurity. Right now, there is phishing, there is social engineering. Those days people used to craft the emails themselves, which are like human based. Yeah. Right now, AI can read Martin, can know about Martin, and then can really send social engineered messages towards this person. And it is very hard to predict that you are being engineered by AI.
Exactly. So that's a very interesting topic, especially cybersecurity in AI. I actually think we could have another discussion about it, especially on the AI bit. I think we could have this in our episode 3. But for now, our time is well spent. But I would say for you out there who've been listening about or to this podcast about AI and its impact on jobs, its impact on decision-making processes in our businesses, and also cybersecurity, I think it's something that's not going to go away. Much in the same way computers or laptops never left, are not going away anytime soon, and we're simply just being integrated into these things. I think we need to also be very cautious, but at the same time use it. So it's sort of like a double-edged sword. It can destroy you, but it could also build you as well. So you need to be really sharp out there, especially if you're using AI in your business processes, and also to do a number of things. Maybe one thing that you might consider thinking about is not giving away or diverging too much information about your personal life and your business, in a sense, or maybe even putting sensitive information, because all that data is sort of kept somewhere. I mean, we have all these open source LLMs, right? What if some of them actually being carefully crafted and trained by, unethical hackers?
By the way, there is I think one case that is very interesting. Yeah. Which is called data poisoning. And so let's say you trained your AI for your company, right? So I can hack into the knowledge base and I feed it any information I want. And there was a confirmed case of, I think, a security company that was fed with the ALM. The ALM they were using was trained on manipulated data. They call it data poisoning. You can instead train the ALM, you give it wrong data, and then tomorrow if I come, I'm like, I work at this company. They check using their AI, you work there.
Wow.
So you can look at it is a very interesting topic. I think we're going to come up in the next episode, and I think the viewers will like this.
I think let's definitely dive into cybersecurity and AI in our next conversation. So guys, thank you very much. It's been me, Martin Tumwine, and JB, John Baptist. We'll see you guys in our next episode. Take care.